Hey YouTube, Sam here. Well, this video is just going to be this Eastwood MiG 175. We're going to put it all together. I started out doing this video when I was filming it. I was going to do not only putting it together, but kind of a first look at the same time. But that just got too long. So this is going to be assembling this, what you need to, all the hoses and wires and things like that. Front of the machine here, and right here's where the torch goes in. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I noticed that there's a kind of a grease inside there, just right on this edge right here. Quite honestly, I don't know if I should clean it off or if they want that there for the O-rings. Personally, I'm going to take it and actually remove some of it. Kind of put it around the edges actually for the O-ring. And then I'm going to take some of it here on the O-ring part here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put some on those, because I do know you kind of want your O-rings a little bit lubed up, which is probably why they put that there, hoping you won't have any problems. And I would doubt they would ship it with something that would interfere with your welds. Plus, pretty much all that has to do is with the gas part of it. This is where your wire goes in at, and I'm not going to touch that with the grease best I can, because I don't want any of that. I'm going to stick this in here. And again, on the video, this is the Eastwood video, is several years old. I looked at it, and it says to loosen this up, which I'm going to do. But it also shows that you can see the tip of this going into here. But I do know you want it as far in as it'll go. You want it to go until it bottoms out. I do not see direction-wise that it matters what direction this goes, but I am going to put this towards the up where the wire is for now, because that goes upwards. I'll show that to you in the front. I'm going to stick that in there. And once again, with the whole grease and oil thing, you need to decide for yourself what you want to do. I do know this does not feel like it's going in, so I'm gonna, yep, you gotta back that out quite a ways. There we go. Make sure that's all the way out, just so I know. Okay, well, I can push as hard as I want and it's not going any further, so I'm going to do this and go ahead, and I'm gonna just cinch it slightly. I'm not even going to snug it down right now until I make sure. I'm going to check the book one more time. I'm not sure what this is, if I need to back that out as well. It just says insert till it bottoms out on the drive assembly. And like I said, even with this all the way out, that's as far as it's going to go, and I don't want to push anything to the limit here. So I'm going to call that good. I'm going to snug this down good here. Appears that this and this are just for holding, you know, the brass part here and stuff. But like I said, on the videos I saw, you could actually see into this section, and you could see your piece going into here. Machine here, and this definitely has a direction. There's a little bump right here that hits a little bump right there, for lack of a better way of putting it. And there's 4 prongs. So turn that till it pushes in. And turn this, thread it on there, and that'll tighten it in there for you the rest of the way. That's very similar to some of my wheelchair stuff that I have, where the for the battery chargers, but that's neither here nor there. Now we're going to put on the ground clamp here, and that goes, there's a little hole right below where the torch goes through here. We went through that hole there, and I honestly would think that this would go up towards the back, but it looks like it'll work this way. So I'm going in front of the brass piece here, and then right here there's a section where you put this through. But first you want to unscrew this, the black one, black knob here. Okay, don't lose that. And then you're going to fold this around and stick it on there. Stick it on the screw there. I can't think of the word I'm going for, but anyway, you stick that one on there, And then you're going to take it and put it through your little holder here on the side, which just kind of keeps you from pulling the cord any further than that. Kind of holds it in its spot there. Now, if I were to take the flux core wire out and use it in here, I would have to switch, and I'll make sure that's on there, switch this wire here and this wire here would just switch. I'd put this one on the red and this one on the black. And then you could use the flux core without the gas. Otherwise, this is the way you want it. If you're using gas for both the spool gun and for just your MIG wire, this is the way you want it. You want the ground cable that you're welding with going to the black, and the piece that's coming off this brass part going to the red. Alright, now it's time to put the spool on here. And first of all, we're going to get rid of the adapter. Now, if you have a bigger spool, that's what this adapter is for. And then it has this little spacer here and the wing nut. That we're going to keep that aside, but we're going to take that and put it in a safe place for now. In fact, I might see if I can just stick it right there if it doesn't fall in there. And then you have like a big plastic washer type thing, and then also a metal one, which appears to not come off. Probably had too many people messing with this, so they leave it on there. But anyway, we're going to leave both those on there. I'm going to open up my box of wire here. Alright, and we're going to, that comes in this plastic casing here. We're going to pull that off. Be careful. You don't want this to come unraveling on you. That's going to be bad. It appears there's something over it to keep it from doing that, but I still would hold your hands over the top of it, the wire, once this comes off here. Throw that on the ground. Now, right here we have this. You know what? I'm going to get one more grab these before I go any further. Cut the tip off here. Alright, you can see the wires coming actually through right in here. I don't know if you can see that, but I can. Now, you want your... There's two sides to this. You got one with a hole here, and the one with the sticker on the front. You want this section, the more solid looking section, towards the front here. Now I'm going to, once again, hold my hands over this and carefully pull this off, because if you let this go at the wrong time, it will bird nest on you, is what we used to call it. And basically it'll unspool like a crazy man. Alright, so right here where the sticker is actually the wire you're going to want to pull off of here. We're going to pull that out. Do not let go of anything. Hold tight to that section. Hoping you can see any of this. And then I'm just going to take and cut that tip clean right there. Now we're going to stick it on there. Now you want the spool, this part of it sticking out of the bottom, heading toward your gun there. Keep a hold of it. Do not let go. You will regret letting this go. It will unspool all over the place, and it'll rat nest on you until you get past that point. You'll just have problems over problems if you try and just rewind it. You might as well, if it bird nests on you, you might as well just cut it off and start with whatever the freshest part you can. Now I got that on there fairly tight right now. Not too tight. It still moves, but it's tight, so that if I let go of this, it'll still unspool, but right now I can just hold the end piece here and kind of slowly bring this through into there. Now I'm going to undo this, let that pop up, and we're going to bring it through. So I brought it into this. There's like a little spring right here, and we're just going through, and you're going to see it'll come out right there. And I don't know if I mentioned, I can't remember if I did or not, I went and cleaned my hands really good before I did this, because you really don't want to contaminate your wire from here on out, or anything in here for that matter. Now, because this is 030, I should probably look and make sure that this is on 030. I'm going to go ahead and say it says in the book that it's set up for whatever wire you get, which in my case was 030, so I'm going to call it good. But if you had a different wire you wanted to use, you would undo this and flip this around. I think it's 024 and 030 are the two for this one. I am curious if I can get, and I don't know the metric equivalents, I apologize for that, but I do not live in that kind of a area. So I'm going to go ahead and just by hand put some of this in here until it stops, which it did right there. And what I was saying, I'm going to see if I can actually get some other things for this. I am curious about that. Okay, we'll flip that up. Now, there's numbers here. Don't really know what they are, but I'm just going to kind of tighten that down for now until it seems like it's a fairly decent. That's too tight. I'm pulling backwards on it. Okay, I'm going to loosen this up too because I may have that too tight too. Nope. I think I did tighten it too much here. You don't want it so tight that it crushes the wire, but you don't want it so loose that it doesn't feed it as well. This is one of those things that as time goes on, you'll get a feel for it, for lack of a better word. You'll feel how tight this needs to be depending on how well your gun runs. But for now, we're in here. I'm going to open this up and make sure nothing is going bad here, make sure things are rolling. Alright, stuff seems to be rolling here. So, you know what? I probably should pop the tip off of this now that I'm thinking of it. Okay, it just unscrews, it doesn't pull off. Here's the tip. Nope, it came off by hand. So I'm going to pull those off, set those to the side here. Alright, now let's take a look at it. Now I got the tip off. I can kind of feel it. There it goes. Ta-da! I can take and slide that over the top there and screw it in, and we'll screw the cap on. Now it's time to hook the gas up to the back of the machine here. Now, I might have mentioned, I can't remember if it's in this video or not, that I wasn't going to put this on my cart from my old one, and I went ahead and did that because I did build this to actually put a gas bottle on it and hold it in, although I would say I should probably chain it, but it can't fall in any direction. It can wobble a bit, but that's as far as it can go. Now, I got I believe it's the 122, I don't know. They seem awful vague about their numbers, and they kind of change depending on who you talk to. But, anyhow, this was the biggest tank that I could kind of afford. I think I got a pretty good deal on it from what I see from other YouTubers around here to get the bottle, and I bought the bottle, and when you buy the bottle, they fill it for you. It was 100 and I think 188. Here comes a nasty noise because I got to turn it. Okay. Now I'm going to leave that pointing that direction. Regulator here. Now I don't know if you're supposed to do this or not. I've seen other people doing it, so I am going to go ahead and do it. I saw that said close right there, so I was trying to turn it out till it stopped. And if you turn it out any much further, the knob will fall off. So I'm assuming it's as far closed as it's going to get. And so to go open, you got to go this direction. But right now I'm going to leave it in the closed position here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting this on. Now wait a minute. This is where I was saying, I don't know if this is something you're supposed to do, but because I can't remember from school even, honestly. They taught us all this stuff, and I really can't remember if we did this or not. But I've seen people say you should crack this open a little bit just to kind of clear it out. So it seems like a good idea to me because it sits in there with no cap on it. There is no cap, correct? Correct. And probably gets dust and dirt in there. Okay. I'm going to give it all away here. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and thread this on. 1 inch. Feels a little big, but as long as I'm careful, I don't think anything will strip, I hope. And you don't need a reef on these, they just need snugged in here. And you shouldn't have to put Teflon tape and stuff on it. That's up to you what you want to do as far as that, but you shouldn't have to. And once again, it's closed. I'm going to step over to this side and I'm going to stay out from in front of it. These could go flying, the front cap could go flying off. You just never know. So just kind of, you know, stay arm length. You can look away and slowly open the bottle here and hope we don't get anything that we don't want to happen. Okay, and you're going to open your bottle all the way. Okay, now, in theory, this should tell us what we got here, but I don't know if these gauges are worth a dang. It says over 2,000, like 2,200, and that's the PSI. So that's a lot of PSI. I don't know how full they're supposed to be. Somebody maybe out there write down in a comment how full it's supposed to be. Now, with this, I'm just going to go ahead and open it up, and yet again, let anything come out of there that might need to. Maybe. Okay, that should clear that out plenty fine. Now, we're going to take the hose here, and I'm just going to let that kind of fall down, but I really don't want to let it hit the floor, but I'm going to put it over, drape it over this. I really don't, you don't want dirt or anything clogging things up here. And I don't know if these are reverse threads or not, don't appear to be. We're going to thread that in yet again, no Teflon tape. Then I got a 17 millimeter, which is what's on the end of that, and a 3/4, which is the equivalent probably of the metric of whatever's on the cylinder or the actual gauge here. But and yet again, I'm just using that because you don't want to just let this take all the brunt when you go to tighten it up, and you don't want to tighten too much. Yet again, just snug. If you have leaks, you can always tighten a little bit more. If you tighten too much, you're kind of screwed. So I'm going to call that right there. Then we're going to take the other end of this, and I'm going to bring it back up through here so it all stays inside there. Alright, and that's going to go just on the back here. And I don't know, I probably should maybe blow this one out as well, just for kicks and giggles the first time here. Probably won't do this every time. I'll probably do the bottle every time, and after that the rest of it should be clean most of the way. Okay, there's definitely gas coming through there. And again, we got the 3/4 here and the 17 millimeter here. And I'm just, like I said, I'm not doing really much with this other than just making sure I'm not putting too much stress on the fitting. We know that's open there. I got some soapy water here, and I'm just gonna put some on there and look for leaks on all the fittings, even the ones that you didn't put in. Sometimes even the bottles can have problems in there. So any place where there is a fitting. Now these ones technically shouldn't have anything. I'm even going to put a little bit up here. Be careful you're not getting water where you don't want water. Now I'm going to go ahead and open this up and try and check for these fittings. I'm hoping, oh, I'm going the wrong way here. Okay, I'm going to go up to like the 20, which is where they say. Now when you're doing these, you want to be, according to them, in the CFH one, which is actually the red ones on the inside. I see a lot of people go by the ones on the outside on YouTube, and you're supposed to go by the ones on the inside according to them. So listen for air too. In fact, I'm just going to crank it up just a little bit more than where I would normally have it, and start spraying things down here. And go across the fittings where these go in, and yet again up here. I don't see any bubbles at all, so I think we're pretty good. I'm gonna listen inside here too. I'm not gonna spray anything in here because I don't want to mess up anything electrical. I don't hear anything, so I'm pretty confident that I don't have any leaks. Now, as far as that part is concerned, you want to check that every time. I don't think I would necessarily check all of them every time. I would pretty much just check this one now that this is all hooked up. Pretty much the only thing I'd be unhooking and hooking is that one, but once in a while it never hurts to check all your fittings. So I got the machine running again now, all hooked up to the gas, and I want to check that it's working with the gas by hitting the trigger. First of all, making sure it's not working by hitting the trigger. Okay, no gas. Got on its slowest setting here, checking this so I don't lose all my wire out. So now we are going to start cranking this up. And when you're doing this and setting the gauge, you want to be testing it every now and then with the trigger. You don't need to hold it. Okay. So both, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but I can hear the gas turning on and shutting off. Okay, so you heard it kind of go even after I hit the trigger. It's supposed to do that for a short period of time. When you're done with your weld, you want to keep that tip held over the weld for a little while. That shielding gas will, you know, kind of finish off that weld nice that way. So, now I'm no expert in any of this. I don't know if I probably already said that, but I have actually went to school and used several welders and was schooled, even though I probably forgotten half the things I was schooled on. But I do remember some of the more important parts of it, I guess you would say. So anyhow, we all seem to be up and running here. I'm going to go ahead and probably back this down so we aren't doing that. There we go. And there's no more gas again. I'm going to shut the gas all the way off on the tank. You always want to shut your tank off when you're done with it, in case you do end up with a problem with this stuff later on down the road. I'm going to try this one more time. You take this, and the machine is off. Did you see that? That spark right there? The machine is off. It's unplugged. There was still electricity in that. Something people need to know on this. Some machines I don't know are that way, but this one is. It's got electricity going through it, so it can give you a little bit of a jolt if you are touching something and grounding yourself up or out and happen to grab a hold of that the wrong way. You can definitely give yourself a bit of a jolt. So there's what I know about setting up a machine, getting it ready to weld. Now if you want to see me welding, you're going to have to come back later. And I'm actually building a welding table. I actually haven't even started it yet. I'm getting ready to build a welding table. And there's some parts and pieces that I had to cut off. I don't have many of them here. Anyway, some small parts and pieces. So I'm going to do just kind of the first ever weld with this thing right out the door, so you can kind of see from start to finish, you know, me kind of learning how to use this machine. So if you want to see that, come back. I don't know what it'll be titled yet because I haven't done it, and I don't know what'll happen in the video. If this thing welds decently for me, I'll be very happy. So anyhow, that's what I know. Take it for what it is. Hope you all enjoyed this and it wasn't too long. Thanks for sticking around. If it was, please rate, comment, and subscribe. If you have any more questions about it or comments about it, please leave them below and I'll answer what I can. Alright, this is Sam, Jack of all, Master of none. You all have a good one.